This program is designed to provide general information with regards to the subject matters covered. This information is given with the understanding that neither the hosts, guests, sponsors, or station are engaged in rendering any specific and personal, medical, financial, legal, counseling, professional service, or any advice. You should seek the services of competent professionals before applying or trying any suggested ideas.
Hello, and thank you for tuning in to A Sharp Outlook on K4HD Radio and Talk 4 TV. I am Angela Sharp, your host. Our armchair discussions with industry experts will give you the steps, tools, and information to be successful in business and to prepare you to be your best self. Hello, and welcome to A Sharp Outlook. And I have a great announcement. Bully Buddy is here. It's available. And for all of those that might be suffering from bullying or in a situation of domestic violence, whatever, Bully Buddy is here as support just for you. And my guest, we're going to talk about that today. Bully Buddy AI is a mobile safety platform designed to help children, parents, and schools detect, document, and prevent bullying and suicide in real time. The app utilizes AI keyboard monitoring and real-time tracking to provide immediate alerts and support during an incident. The Bully Buddy app offers several key features, including the ability to document incident with live video and geolocation data, alerting parents and school administrators. It uses AI to monitor for high-risk terms related to suicide or self-harm, providing instant alerts and guided support. The app also includes a real-time chat for parent-child communication during incidents and facilitates reporting of cyberbullying to social media platforms. Additionally, it provides educational resources such as definitions of different types of bullying and access to clinical professionals, and collects data on bullying trends and hot spots for research and prevention. We're going to find out more about that, but if anyone is interested, you can go out to its website, thebullyingbuddy.com. My guest today is Jessica Toft. Jessica is the visionary CEO and founder of Bully Buddy, an innovative platform that utilizes the power of AI to combat bullying. Driven by a deep commitment to creating safer and more inclusive environments for children and teens, Jessica is changing the way we address bullying. With a background in education, she brings a unique perspective to the challenge, focusing on proactive solutions, support for those affected, and effective prevention strategies. Jessica is a recognized innovator and passionate advocate for leveraging technology to make a positive impact on mental health and well-being. More importantly, she's a passionate advocate for creating a world where every child feels safe, supported, and empowered. Witnessing the devastating impact of bullying firsthand inspired her to create Bully Buddy, a platform that uses the power of AI to proactively combat bullying and fosters empathy. With a background in education, she's committed to doing this. And we want to let you know we also have another guest, Dustin Dean. Dustin Dean, Dean of Zen, PM, HNP, BC. Dean is a nationally certified psychiatric mental health nurse practitioner, transformational coach, and founder of MindMax Ed Institute, a mental health, wellness, and brain fitness platform built for high-achieving professionals, educators, and individuals seeking real, lasting change. With over 20 years of experience as a prescriber, psychotherapist, and professor, Dustin is known for delivering coaching experience that's as clinical as it is compassionate. Definitely compassionate. Yes. He helps his clients do more than cope, but helps them thrive rather than just survive. Brain fitness is a science backed system that trains the mind to process life through power and potential rather than pain and past remembrance. He offers one to one coaching sessions or cohort based group experiences. And through MindMax Ed Institute, Dustin is redefining what mental wellness looks like, less about diagnosis and more about momentum. This program is built for developing communities of leaders working towards our optimization and maximize mental wellness outcomes for themselves and the individuals they are committed to serving in their chosen professions. I have two wonderful guests, and I would love them to join me right now. Jess and Dustin, thank you so much for being here. And Bully Buddy's here.
Yay! Okay, so I have one correction.
Yes.
The website. I think you got the wrong one. So the bullying buddy is Tara, and she's amazing. She her son has dwarfism, and she's like just a mama out there getting it for her son. But our website is bullybuddyaI.com.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for letting me know.
I'm excited to be here again. Thank you.
Well, it's great to have both of you here, and I know that you are two of the most compassionate and committed people that I have met in an awful long time. And I am just happy to be here to see what you're doing and how it can have such a major impact on children's lives who are just going through all this terror at the schools and the play yards, but also for relationships that are toxic, and someone needs help in that relationship, and being able to contact someone who can support them, that can help them, and even be there if things get too far out of hand. I mean, that is just incredible. And so I'm going to stop talking and let's just hear more about the launch of Bully Buddy, and of course, all that wonderful work that you're doing, Dean. And so let's just start with, how does the app work in the moment of a bullying incident?
Well, so Bully Buddy can be accessed on the bullybuddyaI.com website. Anytime the user feels confused, they feel like something is happening that's not right, they feel a sudden overwhelm of emotions, they can go on, they can talk to Bully Buddy, and Bully Buddy will bring them back to center. It will validate their experience, their emotions, and bring them back to a non-emotional, grounded way of thinking again, while also at the same time documenting what has gone on and removing the emotion from the documentation. So when someone's being bullied, I think one of the most challenging things about it is first of all, it's hard to prove that anything serious is happening, because it's done in a gray area way, where it's little things here and there that if you try to go to someone for help, you sound like you are tattling, or you are making a big deal out of nothing. Mm-hmm. So it makes you look crazy or overreactive or overly sensitive or overly emotional. And Bully Buddy will track it for you before you even know what's going on. So it's not able to have the negative psychological impact that bullying has, because it keeps you at your baseline, and it gives you the documentation needed to show that something is happening, and it gives the person who is in authority what they need to step in and make it stop.
And what specific AI features are there used for monitoring?
Well, so that's where you have the other Bully Buddy, which monitoring happens. But we believe in privacy. We believe that it's people powering AI. So we're not here to oversee what's going on. We want the power to be in the user. So you have your privacy. We retract all of the PII from the conversation the second the user puts it in. The name, if they put in any phone numbers, addresses, social security numbers, it's all instantly anonymized. So nobody.
Can I add something here?
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt, but I kind of want to, because I've kind of, Jess came with this brilliant idea to help people, to help kids that were getting bullied. And we had a whole team. Glee Labs is the other team that came together, and we all brought our expertise and put it together. And one thing that we really noticed with, I think every resource out there has usefulness and it's important. But one thing that we saw that we really wanted to kind of change with Bully Buddy AI was we wanted documentation, but we also wanted empowerment. And we also wanted that person that feels vulnerable to realize, where do I have power? And that's what Bully Buddy does, is Bully Buddy helps the individual. As funny as it sounds, Bully Buddy actually connects with the individual, helps the individual see those amazing traits, helps the individual see that the person coming at them is not their fault. It's not their, it has nothing to do with them. That's that person speaking out of their own pain and their own fear, where we want to help tap the individual's power and potential, many other things, build their self-esteem, have them have something to go to, guide them in who to talk to, what are their resources, so they're not, so they know they have support, but also so they know that there's something amazing in them that can empower them and get them to overcome that negative, dark situation that's coming at them that really probably doesn't have much to do with them. It's probably somebody else targeting them with that person's pain.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
well, and because the bully wants to tear you down so that they can hold the power. And the only way for you to have power in a situation is if you can make the other person feel like they have none. So we give it back to the individual. But we also do have features for the admin. So admins can follow trends of what's going on in their workforce, in their school, in their household, wherever it's happening. They can see that, hey, maybe I need to be in the hallways during recess to be there for whatever is going on so I can step in.
Right. I was thinking about, all of the features that Bully Buddy has. And the one thing that really struck me was, like I said, people being in toxic relationships. And, they call for help. And of course, the other person tells their story. So they can't get to what the real truth is. And so that person is still stuck. They're paralyzed in a situation where they can't get out, they can't move, and they're just frightened to death. And I'm speaking from experience. So you get into one of those situations where you're afraid to speak, you're afraid to move, you're afraid to, do anything that might enrage this person because of the violence that occurs. And to have something that's there to say, it's not your fault.
Yeah.
You don't have to keep taking this. There are other options. Here's some support for you. We've recorded this so that people can, whatever needs to take place, that person be removed from the household or whatever. You have the evidence that's needed to save you from a potentially dangerous situation. I thought about that. I was like, whoa, this is, my mind, I'm always thinking way out in the ozone somewhere.
Yeah, no, but you're spot on, because there's an element of character assassination that happens. And I've also been a victim of this as well. And when you speak up against someone who is scared or angry or has their own stuff going on, and they don't want to let go of that power, let alone look like they have done something wrong, they're likely going to do anything they can to discredit you.
Right.
So we will give that person the validation needed by using Bully Buddy, but also the paper trail of facts that have the emotion stripped of them so they can be presented. I think in legal cases, one of the hardest jobs lawyers have is taking on a client who's gone through this, because they are so emotional, and being able to not only strip away the emotion, but then go back into like the storyline of what's gone on, and try to put that together in a way that can be presented in front of a judge is nearly impossible.
Right.
And I think Bully Buddy will make it possible for a lot of people who've gone through that to get justice.
Oh, yeah. Especially, I mean, speaking again, you're in a situation of assault. You go to court and they try to humiliate the woman.
Yeah.
As if it was your fault. Yeah. And, I can see why so many don't report this because of the court situation that occurs.
Easier not to.
But here you now have the evidence and it's game over. You know what I'm saying? It's just game over. What kind of guidance does the AI provide to the child? You say that it, empowers it and it lets it know that it's not their fault. Does it go beyond that and kind of, focus on their emotions and kind of do some uplifting and building of their character?
Dustin, do you want to take this one?
Sure. I'll take this one. That was one thing I was really honored is, Jess tapped me because of my experience with years in child and adolescent psychiatry and psychiatry. And, obviously this isn't therapy. It is a coach, and it does some supportive things, but having that knowledge of what to do when the child is feeling alone and I wanted to go back to one thing that you hit on with what we were talking about as far as the abuse and all those things that go on with women and in relationships. I think the key to the information getting blurred is from the loneliness. Like, I think so many times when abuse goes on, people actually do start to think it's their fault. Mm-hmm. And that's the beautiful thing about Bully Buddy and what I loved about Jess's vision. And then what I have from my experience is when you can talk to something, even if it's an AI, okay, you're not as lonely and you feel like you have an ally. And that's what Bully Buddy does for the kids, and what it does for everybody is it builds you up. It brings truth, okay? Because when you're in a abusive situation, it's all lies. It's you deserve this, you did something wrong, it's that person's rage coming at you. Bully Buddy brings you back to locus of control is kind of the technique that I like that a lot of it was focused on when we programmed it and we did stuff. It's like, what can I do in this situation? Who can help me in this situation? What's amazing about me? All these lies are coming at me, but they're lies. And I don't want to hear that. And it's hard for us. And I know you've heard me rant on this before, Angela, but it's hard for us because the base state of our brain is fight or flight. It is to keep us alive. So it craves those negative things, if you will, and we'll start to believe them. We have to train it to see the positives and the good things about us. And when someone is pushing it more negative at us, it's almost like a double barrier. Well, that's what Bully Buddy AI comes in and does, is says, no, I am logical. I am brilliant. I am trained on mental wellness techniques, and I know the truth. And the truth is, this is a lie. Talk to me. And as you're talking to me, we're going through this journey of what the perpetrator is doing to you, but what you can do about it. So that's the beauty of what Jess came up with. And I was honored to get to use my experience and my skills and my knowledge because it can help massive amounts of individuals, not just kids, but massive amounts of individuals. Very valuable resource for the kids. But not only is it giving encouragement and doing those things, it's documenting, it's seeing the situation where if it were to come, and I don't know all the legalities, so if I say something wrong, Jess, please tell me. I'm just the site guy, right? But it will have documentation of all the reality of the situation, not the emotion of the situation. What went on, so if it is abusive, there's not going to be, well, maybe I did this, or maybe my coffee was too hot for him, or maybe, I didn't wear the right perfume. Like, none of it's going to show what that person came to when they were lonely, when they were afraid, what they actually told Bully Buddy, which is going to paint an amazing picture to show the truth without the fear and the lie and our fight or flight coming in and interfering.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's a very isolating experience because when someone tarnishes your reputation, you kind of lose trust in your inner circle and beyond. And so to be able to talk about it is a necessity. You have to be able to talk to something or someone about it. So an AI being a safe place to share it and have your reality validated, and then the paper trail. And the thing with the bullying behaviors, they're all lies, and lies don't pan out in the end. They don't all line up. So it's really easy to be able to show those once you have your reality time stamped.
Right. And the one thing like I said, just from my experience, it starts slow. They don't just immediately okay, I'm going to bully you, beat you up in the hallway. They start slow by just every little thing they can find. They just begin to pick and pick and pick and pick. Your hair is ugly. Oh, then tomorrow your hair and your shoes are ugly. Oh, then the next day your pants and your shoes and your hat's ugly. I mean, it just keeps building and building and building till it's like
you accept it as
you make a great point here, Angela. Yeah. I think the other thing is it does increase in what they pick on you with. Mm-hmm. Also, what could be cool about Bully Buddy is so many times bullies are doing it to multiple people, but they're very good. I mean, bullies, let's not lie. They're good at what they do. Okay. Mm-hmm. It's their survival coping mechanism. It's where all their energy goes, unfortunately. And that's another thing that we've talked about is hopefully maybe this will be an opportunity to identify a bully and maybe even bring something to light of where they need help and stop the whole cycle, because it's not just that it escalates with an individual person. They usually pick one person to target, but usually there's a pattern of behavior where they've bullied others and maybe got away with it. Maybe been smart enough to victimize themselves and say, oh, it's just that no one likes me. And this is why all these things happen, because they're again. But then when there's a pattern and there's documentation, the reality can really maybe be confronted.
Well, and I think that also taking away the punitive justice system from the situation, I think will enable bullies to accept the reality and accept help. Mm-hmm. Because when a harsh punishment is the only end game, why would they? Why would they stop? Why would they not try to be the victim? Why would they? I think creating psychological safety is not just for the individual being bullied. I think that the bully needs it themselves, because if you go back to what happened in their life or what happened to them, it's typically a cycle. We're all living in generational cycles, and our kids are going through they're going to go through what we went through, just like we wound up like our parents, and we marry who our mom married. And, so being able to end all of those cycles will, I believe, result in psychological safety for all.
Yeah. And what's so unfortunate is that they get a group that cheers them on, and it's almost as if this is where they get their energy. I mean, they really feel important. If you take away the crowd and you take away, and you really just tell them who they really are, they probably shrink and will shrivel and run away. But they have to have a group to cheer them on, to validate their behavior.
Yeah.
And so the thing is, we're creating a society where all you do is throw negative mud at one another. And that, I'm not going to go there, but when it starts from the top and people are watching television and you see adults out there bullying people, you think it's supposed to be, well, hey, he's doing it, must be cool. No, it's not cool. You have to think about that.
Yeah.
Always put yourself in somebody else's shoes, and you'll know that behavior's not right. And yeah, you may be going through some things in your own home, but then like I say, this is a time to build an awareness so that behaviors can change and we can start living as human beings that respect one another's space. And, you don't have to bully somebody. If you don't like them, stay away from them.
Yeah.
I mean, why isn't that a choice?
Right.
Well, I think it's really, from a psychiatric perspective, psychiatric perspective, I think we really have to, because like I said, the natural state of our brain is survival. So if someone's getting picked on, a lot of times the reason that crowd's gathering around them is they don't want it to turn onto them. And if we can teach, and this is one thing that I know Jess has, that we've all worked hard on, is building up the person. Okay, if it can become contagious, that people love themselves and they can override that negative commentary in their own head. I mean, that's why 90% of news is negative, okay? Because the brain is attracted to it. That's why a lot of politicians and stuff get this power, unfortunately, is because as a society, we have to individually start to love ourselves and train ourselves and our society that it's okay to think you're amazing. It's okay to even think you're the best. Just don't think you're better. Once comparison comes in, that's when toxicity happens. And we want to undo what has been spreading in regards to negativity.
Right. And there's so much fear-based stuff going on too. Bystanders. A lot of it is fear that they comply. For my daughters, so they've been having issues on the school bus, and earlier this year, there were a couple of girls who were using swear words directed at one of my daughters, and I was talking with my daughters about it, and my other daughter, she, without saying it, made it clear that she was being nice to the bully because she didn't want it to happen to her. And there was no intent to side against her sister, but she also didn't want to do anything to provoke that to happen to her. So the book that we have out now, The End of Danger, it has my older daughter's storyline from second grade that really inspired all of this. And it also has tips for the people that see it happen on what they can do, how they could distract. They could drop some water on the ground and like make a big stink, like, oh no. Or they could, point out the window, or there are different things that we can do that we don't think about doing, instead of trying to make sure that we're covered that we're not going to be the next target, because that is what happens, because that bully needs to be above, and they need to make sure they knock down anyone that tries to rise up and gain the strength to speak against them.
Yeah.
Well, and even like to Angela's point earlier, even with like in marriages and stuff, I think that the judgment that will come from the crowd, from the relatives, from my siblings, from my in-laws, when I confront this, that's another, realizing you're not lonely. And is there a way to distract this, that I'm not fearing the opinions or the wrath of others?
Yeah. The one thing that I do recall, because like I said, I was bullied at school, then I had domestic violence. The one thing I always hear in my ear are the words from my father, who said, "You are beautiful, you are great, you are intelligent, and you will be able to do anything in the world that you put your mind to. Go after it. Don't apologize for it. You just do you, and don't let anybody tell you anything other than that, because this is who you are." And so I hear people kind of want to call me names and tell me this, and then I think to myself, you are so ignorant. Honey, I know who I am. You can't, I don't even listen to others' descriptions, because I know who I am. I know my weaknesses, I know my strengths. But I think if parents also empower their children by telling them they are great, telling them they are valuable, tell them they're gifted, tell them they have purpose, tell them, just wonderful things. Yeah, they didn't make the bed right. Okay, so just show them, because they probably do want to learn how to make it right. But don't call your children names. Don't do things that humiliate or degrade your children. Give them positive feedback. Tell them the things that you wished you had heard when you were growing up as a child. And
Right.
you will have powerful, strong children that will become powerful, strong parents and grandparents. But that's what saved my life, was the voice of my father.
Well, and that's
Way when I was 18. But
that's our wish, Angela. Actually, is that Bully Buddy is that voice, because some people hurt people, and consistently, from working in child and adolescent psychiatry, it's beautiful that you had that dad, and that's the dad I strive to be, and I hope I am. You know what I mean? I know it's the mom Jess is.
Yeah.
Do you have kids, Angela?
Oh yeah, I have two sons
I'm sure
and grandchildren, and I am also a great grandmother.
Oh wow! I'm sure it's the parent you were too, but unfortunately,
not everybody's capable of being that.
But that one voice, a parent's going to be more powerful, but if it's nowhere else, if it can come through an AI, that is the voice that you're wonderful, you're powerful. Don't believe your validation and your power doesn't come from others. It comes from the amazingness inside you. And I think that's a message that can change the world, when kids and adults, even wives, husbands, whoever's being abused, when they start to see, no, my validation doesn't come externally, it comes internally. What are those good things about me? I think I've told both of you guys this before. That's one of the assignments in my coaching, is I have my clients write 50 amazing things about me. And they have to be about me, not about what I do for others. It can't be about anybody else. It has to be, I'm smart, I'm strong, I'm a good artist. Like, they have to be specific, not I have a good dog, I have somebody who, no, because all those things can be taken away. What's good about you? And the reaction, because of the way our society has conditioned people, that, be humble, and I can't say this. I mean, I've had people just tearful and angry, and they can't find they can find amazing things about everybody else they know, but they won't find it about themselves. That's what part of a vision, that at least what I kept trying to drain and go back to in Bully Buddy, is get resources, get tools, get perspectives that makes the individual see the power and the beauty is in them.
Yes, absolutely. And you were talking about when we start comparing, when you know your own light, you don't have to compare yourself to anyone else. My mother used to tell me, because when I first started working, and there was all these powerful people there, and they were making all this money. And my mother told me, she said, the only difference between you and them is an opportunity.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa. And so ever since then, I did find that out. The only difference was opportunity. So you look for opportunities or you make your own opportunities, but you can be whatever you need or want to be by just looking for the opportunities. Create your own opportunities. How about that?
Yeah.
Life
is what we make of it.
Yes. Yes, it is.
I love the mindset.
So when you first talked to Bully Buddy, what surprised you the most about talking with Bully Buddy?
Well, so I knew Bully Buddy, the concept of Bully Buddy would work because I was using AI in that way myself.
Mm-hmm.
But when I heard the vision come to life, when it was real, I mean, tears, like it was just, it was mind-blowing.
Mm-hmm.
Because now it was possible for other people to do what I was able to do, which would change my life, to have my reality validated and to see the lies for what they were and to become a much stronger person, to know that my daughters weren't going to need to go through all the trauma. They were going to have support. And long after I'm gone, they're going to have support, immediate support, but also they're going to be protected. That was everything to me, to realize that was a reality for my kids. To change that generational cycle was just mind-blowing.
Yeah, absolutely. When you think about bullying and the effects on mental illness, what's your biggest concerns?
Well, I mean, so in the neurodiverse community, it runs rampant. Depression, anxiety, and self-worth. It's really a struggle, I think, for a lot of people because the world doesn't operate ideally for most neurodiverse individuals.
Mm-hmm.
And to live in a world whose reality doesn't match your reality, I think is, I can't imagine what that does to our minds. I can only imagine that it probably leads to even more neurological issues in the future. I'm not a scientist, so I won't say what my guesses are, but I have assumptions on what it ties to. And I think that, I mean, neurodiversity and inclusion needs to happen. It needs to be a reality. It needs to be an active reality and not just people saying that they're inclusive. They need to take actionable steps, and we need to educate them so that they can, which is what we're building next, NeuroBuddy,
Mm-hmm.
which will educate people on neurodiversity, which is autism, which is ADHD, dyslexia, all the different ways that our brains think. Yeah. So educators, we have special education teachers who are hard to find. Schools don't have enough money for them. They're cutting them left and right, and there's not enough of them for any of the neurodiverse students. And I could go into this for a very long time, but I won't. But we're going to teach all the teachers, so all the teachers understand what these students are experiencing, so that they can make adjustments. And I think once people understand what it's like, then they will know how to move forward in a way that will help.
Well, I think if society would stop trying to say that someone who is different than you, there's something wrong with them. No, they're just created differently and for a purpose. The neurodivergent, they're some of the smartest individuals you would ever want to meet, especially in, technology and systems and analytics and different things like that. They are brilliant. And the companies are the ones that are missing out. They're losing because you around here dealing with people. And believe me, I've been working a long time. And I'm here to say this generation has not picked up with the knowledge that is needed to go forward and to keep companies successful going forward, because they didn't teach them critical thinking and how to be analytical with their thinking. So this is a great opportunity to look at the divergent, neurodivergent society groups and just change the working environment so they can work there. You would have some just incredible people on staff that will probably even make AI look like something slow. I mean, they're just brilliant, and they could just take us into, the next revolution of technical, revolution that we're trying to get to. We would get there faster if we stop, thinking they're lesser than us because you don't understand them. Right now we have AI that can actually educate you. Hey, why don't you get on one of those AI group chat, whatever you want to call them, and look it up and find out about people before you try to decide that they're not worthy or they're not like you. If you are judgmental like that, we're glad they're not like you. We don't need any more judgment. We don't need any more finger pointing. We just need people to want to cooperate and help one another. I mean, goodness gracious.
Well, I think one thing that's beautiful about Jess's Buddyverse vision is that AI is the answer, okay, but ChatGPT might not be the answer, and that's what I really love about Glee Labs, who we're working with, is they have the tech knowledge to take experts and put an AI. That's what Bully Buddy is it will only go within the safe realm that we taught it, where ChatGPT could go anywhere. It could give someone advice that isn't safe, and I think especially when you're talking about educating teachers in ADHD and all these neurodiverse ways, what an amazing resource for when they're in the middle of an incident happening and not knowing how to respond in the right way. Just them becoming mindful of, I have a resource, will eventually stop them to long enough to say, what did it say last time? And they'll use it because they have a tool that gives them the answer right then, that has been vetted in a way that has the best outcomes from the knowledgeable professionals that programmed it, instead of ChatGPT that could give you something that could go either way, because sometimes it will reflect what it thinks you want to hear, which isn't always the best thing, where the Buddyverse resources goes straight from experts and won't go outside those.
Yeah, and that's the wonderful thing about it. When Glee Lab was on last time, they were talking about the fact that the information it was looking at was very pointed to what was needed for the what you're working with. Because you're right, you go out there and just pick anyone, you're going to run into this thing hallucinating and just all kinds of garbage, and you're going to think it's reality because you asked it, and it may not be, because if it pulls everything, when you have disinformation, misinformation, and downright lies out there that's in writing, and then you have truth there, you're going to get a mixture of garbage. And so that's the one thing, even going into AI, AI is only as good as the database that it's drawing from. And thank God you've isolated it so that it's going to get the best response possible.
Right.
But some of these other ones with all their companions and all their friends, there's no telling what they're being told. And
Right.
that's the danger of it. Yeah.
And people want to hear what they want to hear, so you have to be careful of that. I think we're headed into a world of ecosystems, especially in the AI field. It's going to be about trust. And Glee Labs has developed a really great ecosystem, not just the Buddyverse with Buddy and NeuroBuddy, but they also have different founders who they've built for. They have Pet Talks, which I talk about a lot, but it's a really great entry level AI for people who don't know how to talk to AI. Like, a lot of people get scared to even say anything because they don't know how it works. They don't know how it's just foreign to them. So Pet Talks, you can talk like you're talking to your pet, and it's a natural way to jump in there. So finding AI ecosystems like Glee Labs that you can trust the people behind the product, I think is essential moving forward. And I think that you're going to see a lot more of it too. A shout out to Ted Sims and Greg Lottis, amazing human beings, and couldn't be more grateful to have them in the mix of all of this.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And that's why I'm so excited about Bully Buddy, because of Glee Labs, and because there's a lot of ethics that is involved in creating, any kind of product. And like I said, it's only as good as the developers and what their standards are and what their ethics are and what, how they think and how they feel. And
well, I know I was probably kind of annoying for Jess. And Jess, I'm sorry when I first started, because I'd done my Dean of Zen. So there was so many questions when I'm like, we got to be careful. We can't say this. We can't say, because you have to be careful and you have to be moral, because people are going to look at this and there is expertise in it. But you do not ever want to give something that could give the ability to go the wrong way. People can always use tools in the wrong way, but developing a tool, I think sometimes, and I'm ADHD, and when I get focused on something, it can be annoying, I think, to keep having to regurgitate the same. Yes, Dustin, we made sure, but I think it's important when we're changing the world, and when you're changing the world, what you have to put out there has to be safe, has to be supportive, and Bully Buddy is. I can gladly say, as a professional, with a license and everything, the steps that we're taking and everything, it's turned out amazing.
Yeah, because I've heard of other products similar to that. And what they're doing is just exposing it to all information that's out there. Well, how do you know it's good information? How do you know it's accurate information? How do you know it's not harmful information? You're just saying, go read, and then you've got this thing talking to your family members. But, and this is, that's just why I am so excited about your product, because I know the people involved. I've talked with you all, and I understand, your basis. I understand your truth. I understand your reasons, and I understand you care. And that's what's important. It's more than just having a product out there. It's about you really actually want to make a difference. And that's truly important. Boy, this has just been an amazing conversation. And I'm just excited, and I'm just happy to have you. So tell people where they can get that Bully Buddy so they can start feeling safe and empowered and all of that.
Yeah, so you just go to bullybuddyaI.com. You can add it to your home screen on your phone, and then you just click and you can sign up. It's $10 a month, and you can get access to Bully Buddy, Bully Buddy Elementary School, Bully Buddy Middle School, and Bully Buddy High School for that $10 a month. Yeah, and it's 24/7. So whenever you need support, it is there.
Oh, wow. That's very, very, very important. Well, I just want you to know this has just been a great conversation. I have loved it. You know, you'll be coming back when you get your neurodivergent.
Yeah, when
buddy
everybody's up and running, we'll be here.
Yes, because I feel very strongly about that topic just as well. You just can't ignore a whole society of people because someone who did not have understanding come out with a comment and, you know, stigmatized everything. And so we've got to unstigmatize and give
It's all
these
about
people,
education.
yeah, education. So thank you too for being here, and thank you, audience, for tuning in today at A Sharp Outlook. We're here every Monday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, 8 a.m. Pacific Time, and I know you have learned a lot. And I always say, stay informed. I want to thank you for joining us on A Sharp Outlook. We have been informed and energized to take the next steps. We have posted links to websites and videos to learn more on today's topic. Please join us again next week for another thought-provoking conversation right here on K4 HD Radio and Talk 4 TV. Listen to the podcast on all the podcast apps. And until next week, stay informed.